Go, John.
Alright.
Kickoff. NFL.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to Night Shift Podcast. You're here today with me, the coolest out of the three,
Nope.
Jonathan,
Nope. I'm Andre. Way better.
and Alex, the faggot. So today our lively discussion will begin with something that is actually conflicting in Alex's life.
And he wanted to
So,
talk about it so much today.
So Alex, you have the floor today, dude.
Yeah, come on. What's your definition of love right now? Let's go, Alex.
Definition of love. It's such a broad definition,
Shut the
but
fuck up. Just say what you
Just
think.
go.
Oh, such a broad definition.
No, do. I'm a professor.
you guys can eat my ass. That's what you can do.
Oh, that's the first definition of love.
Yes, eating my
Eating
ass.
ass, yes.
Yeah.
Specifically,
always-
Alex's.
Yep. It has to be mine. Yep. Anyways, my definition of love, it's a relation. Okay, it's not like. First of all, it shouldn't be like the sexual relationship. I mean, sure, like you can have sex and shit, but it shouldn't be like based around sexual needs. It should be a relationship where you not
Okay, well,
necessarily
don't give me like a rundown. Just give me like a definition.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you're explaining
Love-
the whole gist.
Love is a foundation you can always rely on, no matter what the
Okay.
situation.
All right. Love is an open door.
Get the fuck off this channel.
I want to kill myself.
You guys both just sounded retarded, but
Where's Frozen when you need it?
I mean, I guess Alex's definition isn't too bad, but I mean, again, I here's the thing is I don't think anyone is too young to say they like love something or loved someone.
Yeah.
I don't think love is
Yeah,
defined
yeah.
by age, even though you know how people back then or whatever are like, oh, like You know.
Yeah.
you're too young to love, but like, how the fuck do you know if I love something or not? Like, you don't know what that feels like. It's
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's different for everyone. But I think my definition of love is if you are able to give and be 100% content without receiving anything. Like, nope. Like you do it out of. That's why you say you do it out of love. You just do it out of.
You don't expect anything back.
You don't
in return.
expect anything back, and you're willing to give up everything.
It's all
you
about
have.
sacrifice.
Kind of, yeah, I guess. But that's, I mean, as far as me, from like a relationship standpoint, I think that's what I learned so far is like,
Yeah. You've had
Yeah.
relationships. Tell us about it, because Andre and I
you guys are both still trying
are
to.
both faggots. Anyway, that's
I think-
besides the point.
As far as my relationship went, so I dated a girl my sophomore year, for what is it, 8 months. So if I'm gonna reminisce and think back, no, I'm just kidding. If I'm gonna like try to really think back, I just remember, like, if we're gonna start from the beginning, I just think first off you have to have like some sort of like physical attraction. Like that's just gotta be without it.
Yeah.
Like, it's hell.
So what about like loving your parents?
Okay,
What the
but I
fuck?
think.
So like, would you have a physical attraction to your mom and dad?
Okay, nah, I
Like
get
Oedipus?
I meant
Christ.
like in a relationship standpoint, not fucking
Not
love.
like the parently love.
No,
Because,
we mean like fucking
yeah, love-
girlfriend, man.
Love
God
is
damn.
different from, yeah, like I said, it's different from, I guess, like the idea, like the definition of love for me is the same. Like I'm willing to sacrifice for whomever I love, which could be my family or it could be whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I
Me?
meant like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, but like we're talking about in like, as of this standpoint, as of like, in a relationship standpoint. So, I guess for
Me
me,
again.
yeah, it was like, okay, you find the person you like. So then I saw her and I was like, okay, she's cute. Like I'm gonna talk to her, and everything went so well. It was like super smooth. And then it kind of like went along the lines of kind of like I was so into this person, I didn't I didn't realize like all these like little holes in it.
Oh.
And
Yeah, that's the
so
thing.
Were you
that's
fantasizing about like
no,
the perfect version of who she was?
well,
Like,
I
were you
wouldn't say
expecting more from
fantasize.
her than who she really is?
No, it wasn't like that because I mean I liked her for who she was, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say it was
No, yeah,
more
I've heard similar things. Like if you are like in a relationship with someone, you
you really
sometimes
yeah
fail
you
to
kind of just cloud
see
that
their
area.
flaws. Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I guess you kind of have to grow up, and that's the thing. I think our issue, relationship issue at that time with that person was we didn't really like do much to like improve in that kind of gray area. It was just kind of like if we argued about something, it was kind of okay, like that we're like frustrated. However, like we're just like okay, we can still deal with it, kind of thing. So we like just put it aside. But
Oh.
you never want to do that because it will fucking bite your ass so quick, dude. That's kind of what happened to us because it just like just things just didn't like just things were just like too much at this point. I mean, obviously there's a much larger story to that relationship than anything, but I guess not to like expose this person or anything.
Yeah,
I'd
you
say it really
are. I'm just kidding.
I think it really comes down to just like we had differences that we kind of didn't really try to accept.
Oh.
But then, you know, when you're like so in love, you like that gray area of being in love is kind of like you don't really look into their flaws or yours. You just kind of like put it aside.
Yeah.
Which yeah, you shouldn't do that when you're in a relationship. But I mean,
Yeah.
that was my pretty much relationship advice to people. If
Advice.
I mean, it is kind of an advice. I feel like there's so many relationships like mine, to be honest, or that were very similar. It was just like at first sight, it was a beautiful thing, and then you take her on a date, and
And
next
then you
thing
realize
know,
that she's a slob.
no, but no, I
Christ.
I'll be completely honest. I would say I definitely really liked her, and I would even go as far to say would say that was kind of like my ideal, I guess, love story, but
Uh-huh.
but it's why do you sound so fucking gay? But
I'm agreeing.
as you're fucking fantasizing about my relationship over there. No, yeah, but I definitely think that was my first love experience. It was in high school, and I don't think anything before that really kind of, I guess, I put as much effort or time into, or sacrificed enough to where I would consider it love until then.
Yeah.
So that was my experience, which you two would know none of. But
Yeah, you're right.
So, I mean, should we just end it here since we can't really relate?
yep, 7 minutes in, we're being done.
Or, can we call it good, actually?
No, shut the fuck
No,
up.
you're stupid.
I want to sleep.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, I actually kind of want to hear because not being in a relationship doesn't mean you guys don't know what love is. In my opinion, I think that is very different. Like you could definitely know what everything is without dating.
Yeah.
Because you hear stories like from me and stuff. I guess just like you can. I guess a good example is like for example, if you kept watching like YouTube tutorials on like how to do something,
Yeah.
but then like you never like did it hands on. Like
Okay,
you would still
yeah,
you would still know how to kind of like do it and how you feel about it.
Yeah.
And you just never did it in person, sort of thing. I guess you just kind of watched
You
it.
would know it in theory.
In theory, and
Okay.
yeah.
Here's a question. If you love okay, is it considered love if you have this feeling that you can sacrifice for this person, but they don't return that favor?
That's just
Hey, shut the fuck
one-sided.
up.
Sounds like
Okay.
personal problem, but
Yeah, like a very personal problem, Alex.
Hey, how about you guys shut the fuck up and answer the question?
wait, is your question, can you love someone that?
Like, is it still considered
Oh, yeah, for
love?
sure. I think it
Yeah.
is because, I mean, if you really, okay, it's not mutual love. It's
Yeah, it's
definitely
just
one-sided love.
one-sided,
Obviously.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
But I
it's
mean,
still there.
it still could be, considerable
Mm.
situation. But I mean, was your question like, is it love as in mutual or like because
No, no,
it's
no.
pretty
I mean, like, like, does it fit within your definition of love?
I definitely think so. Like someone doesn't have to, I guess, reciprocate for you to feel that way. It's just it would be nice, like very nice. Like it'd be kind of shitty if they didn't. Which
Yeah.
maybe you're going through something of some sort.
Hey,
But
you shut the fuck
but no, I definitely think it still is. But here's the thing: there's a difference between infatuation and love, though, that I think people need
Oh.
to understand. Is sometimes like, okay, yeah, you might have feelings for someone, you might be, like, oh, really into them, and you might feel like you could sacrifice for them, but then
Yeah.
like you have to also like consider when it really comes down to the line, like, are you really willing to, like, when you're in that like hard fucking situation, dude, like, are you willing to? I think that's what it really comes down to, in my opinion.
Are you willing to?
Yeah, it's kind of like, are you really all in? Are you full send or not?
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah. I know what you're saying.
But then it's different for you, though. I mean, for someone, it's love could be a totally different definition. So it's not up to me to.
Yeah, I guess it's subjective, but
Yeah, it's definitely relative to everyone's own opinion.
yeah, but I don't know. It's interesting because, like, I don't know.
Like, what's bothering you, dude? Just
What do you mean? What's
this
Yeah.
podcast is no longer for the people. It is for Alex Troy tonight, people. It is. This is all for you.
Is it counseling
No,
time?
It is
I'm
counseling
just
time.
saying. Like, okay. Here's another thing. Say, like, you're in a relationship, like, and John, you went through it, so, like, you're in a relationship. When it ends, like,
Yeah, what is
what do
that like?
you feel afterwards? Like,
Okay, so
what
here
just
I'll give
happens?
you like those like, were you in psychology?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what is it like, like 7 stages of like accepting death? Is that what it is?
What the fuck?
Oh, okay.
It's
It's
okay.
comparable to death, a breakup, is what he's trying to say.
Okay, well, not like that extreme, but I'm saying it was something kind of like something, it went along the lines of like kind of like that whole like rejecting phase, the whole like, oh, it's gonna be all right, and then kind of like that end where you just kind of like, all right, fuck it, whatever. And that's kind of how it feels when you like lose someone, I guess, that you really liked. Is like after a breakup, like you'll feel like total shit and you'll be hung up on that person, depending on like what situation you're in. But assuming that you're saying it was like that one-sided cross, then yeah, you're definitely gonna just feel like shit for like a good long time. But then you're just gonna have to kind of face the reality of like, okay, like there was obviously a reason why we were happening. Okay, there was obviously a reason why this wasn't a thing, and like you just have to accept it. It's gonna be hard as fuck, but like you kind of just, when it comes along that line. But I mean, you haven't broken up with anyone, so I don't think you could.
No, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, I'm saying. I mean, the thing is, you don't have to be in a relationship to feel that way either. I mean, for all we know, you could be talking to someone for a long while, and
yeah. Okay.
you find out, oh, okay, it doesn't work out. Then you could definitely still feel like that remorse and feel shit. Yeah, I mean, it always goes along that.
Sure. Yeah, cause I don't know. Like, okay. When you're in a relationship, you're not supposed to look at other girls, but how realistic is that? Like,
Okay, for me, it was pretty. I was pretty good. Like, you know what? Okay, I'm not even gonna say pretty good. I think I was excellent. and I will say that because I was really into this girl, so I had no desire. Like, that's the thing. When you really like someone, you have no desire for anyone. So you don't think of anyone twice. You don't, you know. Yeah, I mean, when there's someone attractive, like, it's looking at them as, it's not saying like, oh, I want to be with that person instead. I think there's like,
there's a lot.
if you see someone attractive, dude, like, just be like, okay, that person is attractive. I admit that, but doesn't mean I'm, into them at all.
Did she look at other guys?
Oh no, it was. I think.
I mean, not to his knowledge.
Yeah, not to my knowledge. No, I think it was a pretty mutually respected thing. I mean, yeah, I think.
Were y'all open about it?
Yeah, and we were, and
that's good.
I think, however, like, it's for a woman especially. I think they could find more attraction towards other males, just like celebrities and stuff. But like, yeah, but I mean, it wasn't like, it was nothing serious or any sort of thing that would affect our relationship. But yeah, I think that's definitely a big factor. But no, when you really like someone, you don't really look out of your ways to talk to others.
Have you like ever felt that way about someone, but you weren't receiving the same? Hey, Andre,
no, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. Anyways, yeah. Have you guys felt that way?
What do you mean?
He has no desire for other girls, but that one girl that doesn't reciprocate the affection.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, well, I mean,
like, he's already being loyal even though, like, they're not even together.
I mean, how do you want me to answer that? I've never been in a situation like this. Well, okay, I think every guy has kind of, sort of, been in that situation.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like, you could definitely like someone and not... But I'm saying, like, you're asking in behalf of someone. I mean, I haven't felt that way at all. And it's, I mean, it's mostly because I choose not to.
Oh, yeah. You choose not to.
Yeah, no, I definitely think after my recent relationship, I really did not feel any sort of reason to date at this stage of my life, to be honest. And the conclusion to my idea to that is, like, if I find someone that I really like, there's just some people that you just kind of have to, like, full send, dude, just because, you're like, okay, I really like this person. But I mean, under those, like, real certain circumstances, recently I was just kind of like, you know what, I don't feel like I should put myself, because it's like a dread, dude, because when you're talking to a girl, dude, you have to go through that, like, full stage. You gotta talk to her for like 3 months, and then 3 months later you're like, okay, let's go on like our first date or whatever, and then boom, boom, boom. I mean, that's typical, but I'm saying some people do it much faster, much slower. But I'm saying that whole phase, regardless of what situation you're in, it's kind of like this long lingering, like, whole, like, 10 fucking steps to actually, I guess, date a woman or girl, I guess, or whatever. But or dude for that matter. But
yeah,
it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
Andre. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter at all. But
wait, what about you, Andre? Have you felt that way?
What?
Like, somebody doesn't reciprocate, but like.
Well, I mean, let me answer that question.
Experiences that.
I think.
Well, I mean, like.
Yeah.
Well, because in the relationship I was just talking about, to be honest, like, the whole, like, reason why it was just not a good relationship at the end was because of reciprocation, in my opinion.
Okay.
I don't know what her level. She didn't know mine, so it was just kind of like off.
So it was like saying, one was loving more than the other.
I mean, see, that's the thing though. Like, I may have felt that way, but maybe that person didn't feel that way. Maybe they thought they were, doing just as well, and that's why I'm playing an unbiased card. Like, I'm not talking shit or anything. So, like, I'm just saying, like, kind of that. I'm trying to, like,
you guys didn't understand each other's.
Like, yeah, well, like, I'm talking in, like, half of, like, perspective. Yeah, I'm not just saying like, okay, like it was her fault. I mean, it could have been mine for all we know. No. Which I mean, I don't believe, but you know.
Yeah, cause I just find relationships, at least at the high school level, really interesting. Cause recently there was a really strong couple. Man, I thought like they were gonna be high school sweethearts. It was fucking amazing. Right before summer, of course. And then even during summer, I thought it was fine. After summer ended, I go to school. All of a sudden, one of my buddies comes up to me. He's like, she broke up with him. I was like, wait a second, really? It was just interesting how quickly things can begin and end. Like, I don't know. I feel like high school relationships are deep, but that's my own understanding. But listening to John, I don't know. I feel like
it's different.
It always comes down to like, and it always comes down to like different situations.
And I would say it also depends on the maturity of the person at the time.
Yeah, it really does.
Andre, you've been in a relationship before. How did that feel?
We don't talk about that.
Okay.
It's a little gray area for Andre, which you know what, we all have.
But yes, maturity just plays a factor into it, especially at a high school age when we're all still developing mentally and ideally and philosophically.
Yeah.
And you're gay.
You know what? I'm leaving this. I'm over this. Bye.
Okay. I have another question. For both of you, since both of you have been in a relationship, when it ended, what were your steps in overcoming what came after?
I definitely had a harder time because it was super hard for me because I mean it kind of came out of nowhere. But I guess there isn't really certain steps. It's just some people get over it much quicker than others. And to be completely fair, to be getting over someone, it depends on how much investment you've made into the person. Think about it like this, dude. Let's say it's like if you you invested all this money into this company, right? I mean, how much sadness would you feel compared to someone who invested $1 and you invested like $10K? You know, like it's kind of like that feeling. It's depending on how much you really put into this certain person, it's gonna affect everyone differently. So I guess that's also very. So yeah, I don't know. There aren't really any steps, I guess. That's what
What about you, Andre? How did you?
Well, I don't consider what I had a relationship. Okay.
It definitely was. I mean, yeah, it was a relationship.
No, I'm not.
It definitely was.
I mean,
okay, there was a beginning and an end. There was a beginning and an end.
What I
After
did,
the end,
I just forgot the person.
Yeah.
Damn. He said, "I forgot this person."
Remember I said we just deleted everything, so it was whatever.
I know, but
But yes, I was sad, but I have to. You kind of have to forget the person.
I mean, I don't think you have to forget a person.
For me, I had to.
Okay, well,
just
maybe
personal reasons.
Yeah, I mean that's all up to differences and stuff, but yeah, like you could definitely still enjoy someone's presence even after a relationship.
Ooh, that's a touchy one. Do you guys think you guys can be friends after?
I don't depends. It really depends. Like if you came out of a really, really, really friendly relationship, I guess you could.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I don't think it's usually the case because, okay, the only situation is if both parties are mutually
yeah, that's the thing. I think
if they both mutually respect each other and made the decision to break up, then yes.
But what about the high school level?
No, I think
at the high school level, I think
when people can be salty at each other.
But I think if you're dating someone and both of you feel more like it's like a friendship rather than like a girl boy thing, I think at that point they can make like a mutual decision to um, remain friends, but like don't have to fucking have sex, you know. Of course, I don't know anything about it, but
Yeah.
All right, point taken.
I'll drink some
But
water to that.
okay. Here's one thing: if you look at the movies, when you're like, hey, you want to be my girlfriend, and that happens, like, what happens afterwards? Like
The
in the
movie
movie,
ends
like the
before the
scene will
honeymoon
cut.
phases.
Yeah, in the movie, it'd be like, hey, you want to be my girlfriend? She'd be like, yes. Boom, movie cut, and then they start making out, and then they're done, and then boom, movie scene cuts. But like,
Yeah, that's in the
what are
movies.
the aftermaths? Like, what happens afterwards?
wait, what the fuck
Well,
are you asking me? Like, did they
Like,
fuck or
okay,
something? Like, what are you
no,
asking?
okay. When you ask the person to be your girlfriend,
in the
she,
movie.
well, no. Like,
No.
the
So we're
actual
not on the
person. Like,
movie? Okay, I have real life.
what happens after the fact? Like, is it like awkward or like?
I mean, for me, so like in every relationship I've been in so far, it was definitely relationships kind of like those like relationships where you guys like low key know like each other well enough. Like you guys are like, okay, we
Okay,
both like
yeah.
each other. We're just not gonna say anything. We just keep
Hmm.
doing our thing, and next thing you know, it's you guys are kind of already practically dating. That's kind of like what it was for me.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, I was already, I guess.
But did you ask her though?
Yeah, I mean, like, when it really came, I mean, after we really felt like it, we're just like, okay, like,
Yeah, I gotta make it
we're,
official.
yeah, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, right? And then, it's, I mean, that's not how you really ask it, but I mean, you're just kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, you just kind of
Mm.
establish it. You don't like, I guess, do the whole
Yeah,
cringy shit.
I guess that leads to my next question. What are like some of the ways you know it's right?
Yeah, you have a lot of fucking questions.
You know it's
Hey,
right.
like, okay, how do you like Andre, like your case, like it was like a love at first sight shit. Like,
No.
sort of. You can't even lie. Anyways, like, what was like how does it just feel right or like do you like
dude, if you
calculate everything?
You gotta
no,
calculate everything.
if you like someone, it just like you'll just fucking know, dude. Because
Yeah. Well, how do you know they are like you?
um, that isn't obvious, then well, you probably shouldn't ask them out in the first place. But
Hey, fuck you.
no, I'm just saying, like, you could practically tell if the other side is
Can you?
interested in you. Yeah, what the hell? I
Yeah.
guess okay, yeah, maybe some people are more shy about it or whatever. But like at the end of the day, like they want to keep spending time with you and they're still talking to you. Then I mean,
Especially when it's like past midnight.
exactly.
Hmm.
When you hit that when you hit her with the what you doing and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and she responds in 5 minutes or less, that is when you know, dude, you're in.
Uh, well,
But don't apply that to everything, Alex.
No,
yeah,
no,
you,
it's
you can
a
definitely.
metaphorical situation
You
there.
definitely cannot apply that to everything because Andre knows what happened.
No, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you do.
I don't
Remember,
even
it
know
was like
what you're
1 a.m.
referring to.
What? Are you stupid? It was like 1 a.m. And, oh.
No.
Oh my, you're so stupid.
We'll
Anyway,
definitely
that's
discuss this
besides the
after the
point.
podcast.
I'm going to bed after this podcast. What time are we at, by the way?
We're 30 minutes in. 30
Okay,
minutes.
10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Can you? Okay. So this isn't a general question, but it's more of a question aimed at certain people. My friend. It's a question for my friend. So this guy has been, into this girl for a while. Actually, for a
Since like
very long time.
sophomore year?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's besides the point. So
Yeah.
this guy has been into her for quite a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing's happening. What
Yes.
would your advice be
Okay, I'll
for all
give
the
you
people
my
like this?
advice.
Because I know plenty of people that are
Okay,
like,
including yourself.
fuck.
I definitely think I've come to a point in my kind of life, I guess, where if I really think I like someone, then I just say I like that person, like just straight up. I wouldn't be a fucking pussy about it. Like,
Okay, what if theoretically he did that and he still got fucked in the ass?
well,
Well,
then
maybe
you
that
just
person should have talked to her more in the first place and not on text.
Okay.
In
That's
person.
besides the point. That doesn't matter. Like, okay, hey, shut the fuck up. There are. I'm not talking about me. This is not me.
I'm not
Like,
referring to you. What are you talking
I,
about?
I would never do this. I'm saying there are plenty of people out there that feel this way and they don't know how to handle it. So, like, as boys who have been in relationships, what can you say? Like,
what do you mean?
what do you do? What do you do? When it's just
What
not working.
out of like? Then you just fucking move on. Like,
Yeah, if you can't handle it, then don't do it.
I don't know.
Eat my
It's like
ass.
you're expecting me to say like, okay, fucking put a cucumber up unicorn's ass, and next thing you know, they like you. No, it's not like that. Like, you just if they don't like you, then you just kind of give up. You just like
Yeah, for
there's no
real.
formula. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you're trying to hint at or try to
I'm
get
not
at.
hinting at anything. I'm not getting at anything.
Are you trying to find some hope?
Hope? What are you talking about? What the
I mean,
hope?
here's the thing.
Mm,
I've said this to you, I think, a couple of times actually. If you really like someone, okay,
okay.
like I don't think you should give up. And okay, like it sounds cliche and shit, but like if I guess for every guy out there that really likes someone and really feels that person is something really worth, then there's no reason to stop. I just don't think there's a reason to stop. But
Mm,
there are always circumstances and excuses and shit. But like sometimes you just have to kind of break through that and fucking just keep going for it. If you really feel that, you know,
mm. What if that dude is a pussy? What is he
well,
doing?
if that man is Alex Troy, then you just kind of, I don't know, dude.
You kind of
Okay,
have to
okay,
give up
okay,
at that
okay.
point.
you just like, I don't know. I don't know if there's like fucking
By the way, this is not about me.
shut the fuck up. I don't know if there's. I guess I don't have any like confidence like tips or something, but I definitely say like you have to like put yourself in a mindset to like kind of not give a fuck and kind of like just do it. Like you just kind of just do it. I don't know like
Okay. Now we're moving away from some of the more personal questions, moving to more general context. Like you sort of talked about it last time we did a podcast, but like, how much exactly is a relationship like time consuming? How time consuming is it?
you want like what do you mean?
I mean, like, does it, like take over your life? Do you have free time? Does it
Okay,
feel like
well
you know?
that's a great question, Alex. Let me just take a sip of my water first because this is gonna be long and full of knowledge. Okay, well, the thing is, one of the factors that I don't actually strive to find a relationship anymore was like that whole time consuming thing. Because when I was in a relationship, I definitely felt that year I kind of lost a lot of track, like school wise, because I was in a relationship, and that's why I tell myself like if I were to get in a relationship at this point in my life, I would make sure that person isn't hindering me from where I'm trying to go at. Like here's the
Okay.
thing: is like if a relationship is like a race, um,
Yeah.
like I don't want this person, stopping me halfway and telling me, okay, grab some water, like we're gonna chill here. I want to make sure this this girl's running alongside me, because you could, I want someone that I still give a shit about, but like I want this person just as pursuing and consistent as I am to go do something. Like,
Okay.
Like I don't want anyone hindering me from going to where I am. I want someone that I wouldn't mind someone there, but I wouldn't want them stopping me. Is what I'm saying. And it really comes down to who you really date, because
You want that person to run with you?
Yeah, because there are people that that could be more time consuming than others, and I guess metaphorically speaking, like the race, like I want this person to go on their own little race too. Like I want to make sure this person is striving for their own goals and stuff like that. But you don't ever want a person stopping that person or vice versa. And I guess that would be a good topic between whom you are discussing this with, that you give a shit about.
Yeah.
So it really depends. Yeah.
Well, now that we've heard the side of someone whose time was like entirely eaten up by a relationship, I want to hear from Andre, who like was able to keep it a secret for fucking the entire time. I had to fucking hear it from a third party. That's besides the point. Andre, like, how do you manage that time? Like, did you have like, how do you make like time for yourself and your friends? Like John over here fucking himself in the ass because time's eating him up. But Andre, you didn't change your life routine. Like, well, how'd you do that?
Well, she said I didn't really have to change much, because we just hung out on weekends and then we'd talk at night, and that was good. That was good for me and her.
So okay, so I guess it's similar to what John said. Like, so if I'm getting this correctly, it really depends on the person you're dating, but you should be striving for a person who is who has their own life path, who isn't prohibiting you from pursuing what you want, and you're not stopping them from pursuing what they want, and sort of a mutual thing where you guys are both making just enough time for each other, where
because I think the best
support.
It is the best relationships come out when couples aren't 24/7 next to each other or 24/7 talking to each other, because that idea of like personal space even in a relationship is super big, though. It just is, because the thing is, you will get bored of that partner if you're just constantly with them, and until the day you are married, you just, I guess,
oh man, marriage.
Yeah, you don't really put all that effort into someone without finding yourself kind of bored in that situation. I'm not saying bored of the person, but just like you want to keep the relationship at least somewhat interesting and somewhat full of tension. And I guess it's again like a topic that you discuss with that person once you like start a relationship. Like, okay, like let's make this clear. Like, we're not here to like stop each other. Like,
so you make like a clear distinction.
I mean, you don't have to make it like fucking awkward, but it just like make it like a mutual thing. Like, okay, yeah, like we're on the same page here, right? Like,
Yeah.
Usually you'll be able to like decipher that when talking to that person, anyways. You'll just know what type of person they are and shit like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of relationships end because of personal space issues. I just found it interesting.
I just think everyone should have their own personal space.
Yeah, I found it interesting the way John handled his personal space and Andre handled his personal space, but yet both relationships end. So it just reminds. I feel like more of the story is relationships are really fragile. Like, you guys had like two different stories, but they still didn't end up working out. I think that's something that I think it's good advice, at least for me, and if ever. Relationships are really fragile, that you really have to meet the perfect person to match your pace of life. That's what I'm getting at, or that's what I'm getting from what I'm hearing.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm just kind of right, but that's the thing. Like, there's this perspective, like you were saying, how relationships are fragile. They're not always like that, like you can have a really strong relationship and have all these good factors. It's just about how you manage a relationship. Like, yeah, we could have managed it totally differently, but have the same end result. It just means, like, we both did something wrong within it. Like, there's so many different types of relationships. It's just the results can always be the same. It's just the small things, those that really matter. Because everyone has a different like story, and I think every relationship is kind of a good story because no matter how shitty it probably had some sort of like reasoning, some sort of like fucking rise and fall, the cool climax and shit, and it's just like,
or it could just all be shit.
Yeah, I mean that too, but we always like to listen to a good breakup story, don't we?
I personally learned a lot about.
Maybe you should grab your balls and do something about it.
Yeah, go talk to her, dude.
No.
I don't think you should be embarrassed by your fucking struggle.
Not embarrassed, but like, first of all, you and another one of my buddies really fucked it up for me.
Okay,
all
yeah,
right, well,
perfect.
this is all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in to Alex's therapy session slash night shift podcast. But we'll be back again shortly, and thanks for listening. Peace, everyone.
Bye.